Good morning, everybody. So another horse today. Don't know where to start. Okay, a couple of things that I know about him. He used to be used in the school. He was one of the horses that taught people how to jump. So he's an Arabian horse, but he can go around a course and do a few jumps. And then he started spooking a lot, stopping at jumps, avoiding the jumps. So imagine that you're cantering towards a jump, and then at the last second he dives to the left or to the right. And obviously with riders that are just trying to build their confidence and understand how to or learn how to jump, that is probably the worst scenario for them to build confidence. So anyway, I don't think he's being used that much. So that's what I've been told. But what I've seen as well is in the stables, I walk by him quite a lot with other horses. And with every horse that I've walked by, he's always pinned his ears quite aggressively and stuck his head out all the way, which tells me that he may be on the higher level of the hierarchy in the horse world. Maybe he's able to move other horses around a little bit easier, so kind of puts him potentially in the dominant, let's say, side of the spectrum with horses. I've also just waved a flag at him before I got in, because I want to be able to, with a dominant horse, let's try to use the word dominant and not aggressive, okay? So with a dominant horse, he would be typically less willing to move when I ask him to move, and may require a little bit extra motivation. He may, if I ask him to move, I apply a bit of pressure to him. You never know, he may apply the same amount of pressure back to me. So I need something to be able to use to protect myself, and at the same time motivate him to move away. So I waved the flag at him. Luckily, he put his head up and he kind of trotted off. So he's potentially not the spookiest horse. But if the flag is not doing the job, obviously I've got the stick and string. I do need to maintain my own safety, but at the same time try to work through things so that we get a nice message across to the horse and start to work together as a team. Now, obviously with the background that I've got, with the information that I have on him, his name is Mugheer. I'm going to remember that and try to use it as much as I can. I've already got some kind of an aim by the end of this session. So as you can see, I've got a tarp here. This tarp, it moves, it makes a sound. There's a little bit of a breeze, so it'll make the tarp move as well. I want to see, if he's not willing to go over jumps, then most likely he won't be so willing to go over the tarp when it's on the ground. So after I've established a little bit of a foundation with him, at least making sure that he understands when I ask him to go, probably do a little bit of desensitizing. Then I'm going to start getting into the simple groundwork exercises, using the tarp to build his confidence, to build his respect, to build his trust, in being willing to listen to me and trust me when I'm asking him to do something, because it's not going to be a bad deal for him at the end of the day. He's going to realize that he's bigger and bigger and bigger than what he ever thought he was. So at the end, I hope that he feels better about himself. I hope that I feel good about myself. And I also hope that you are able to learn something from this. The other thing is, if you do have any suggestions on specific things that you'd want to see, maybe I can find a couple of horses and go through some of the potential ways you could work with a horse to get him over some of the issues. But that's, depends on what you guys want and what I'm able to find, and at the end of the day, what is good for the horse. So I'm just going to get in there and do my thing. Initially just ignoring him. I can see him out of the corner of my eye. Not really paying too much attention to me. Not willing to move his feet, which is fine. Just going to come up behind him, ask him to move. So even though with a wave of a flag, he's pretty chilled at walking out. Already head and neck very low, chewing and licking. He's rolled about 20 times, so he's he should be feeling very relaxed. Okay, I'm just observing here, looking at his legs, seeing if I can see any injuries on the tendons, anything like that. Doesn't look like it. I like the fact that he's got his inside ear hooked onto me. He's waiting, he's listening. Let's see what happens if I increase that pressure. Okay. That's a nice trot. A big massive shake of the head and an explosion tells me, we'll see what it tells me. But it does tell me he didn't quite appreciate being asked to trot off initially. A little bit of resistance, tiny bit. Big deal? Not at all. So as always, I leave him alone when he's doing the right thing. So this is what I'm asking for. I'm asking for the trot, so I'm not going to add any pressure because he came from the canter to the trot. But if he goes from the trot to the walk, that's when I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure and just ask him to speed up into the trot again. So all I'm looking for here is just a little bit of, look at that. That's nice. Smaller circles already. Okay, let's see if we can get him to turn and face me. So I'm going to walk towards him. As soon as he looks at me, I'll walk away. So he's turning his butt, which is normal. There, he looks at me. Again, ask him to move. Now I'm going to step out and try to catch his eye, like that. If he turns towards me, he'll be left alone. Okay, playful, very nice. So he's picked up the canter, which is fine. It's still in the morning, he's just come out of his stable. He's probably got a bit of energy in him. So here, if he comes back to a trot, I'm not going to ask him to canter again, even though he is choosing to take control of his feet. Why? Well, simple. I just want him to trot. So I feel he's paying much more attention to me now, which is good. I really don't foresee any major issues with him in terms of at least my own safety, because he's got that response to my flag. And obviously I use that initially to make sure that he doesn't trust me and I don't trust him yet. He needs to earn that trust from me, and I need to earn that trust from him. So there, that's good. So he drops his head. I'm going to walk away a little bit, try to catch his eye, like that. Completely walk away from him. Let him know we're not out here to work you hard. We're out here to establish a kind of a bond. Taking our time with everything we do, especially in the first few sessions. Good. So now I'm going to ask him. That's good. He can walk. If he just chooses to walk, I'm going to let him. That's good. Okay, now he's chosen to trot. If he comes back down to a walk, I'm going to just apply a bit of pressure and ask him to maintain that trot. The whole idea behind this is that he should, you know, horses like to be left alone. They like to be in the comfort zone. You know, when you're riding them, they don't like to be pulled on and bumped on and, you know, constantly some kind of pressure being applied to them no matter what they're doing. They seek comfort and safety. So if you can, when they're doing the right thing, if you can find a way to give them those two things, comfort and safety, then they are going to be more and more and more motivated to find that answer each time. So here I'm going to walk away. So I'm walking backwards, he's turning. That's it. Very nice, boy. And very politely just ask him to go the other way. So here, he wants to walk. Good. Now he's ignoring me here. Very good. I like these circles. I like these circles, buddy. Hey, Mugheer. I see. Let's see if you're gonna. Are you motivated, or does looking at me strike any interest in you? So there, apply a little bit of pressure on him. A little bit of pressure. A little bit of pressure. All right. Very disrespectful there. So I made my communication a little bit louder. So here I'm going to try that again. Would you like to look at me or face away or just ignore me? Choice is yours. There. When he does that, I leave him alone. Okay, he walks away, that's fine. And because there's quite a bit that I'd like to get through, I'm not trying to perfect this. I'm just trying to open up some doors, you know, and paint some of these walls, you know, the color of respect. Just a little bit, first coat. So now, all I'm gonna do, because we can move him, we can send him left, we can send him right, we can get him to stop and face us. Good enough for me, we've established something. There. Always paying attention to and noticing what it is that he's saying to me. So at this distance, he decided to pay attention and look at me. I'm going to say, hey, good. That's a good thing. You look away from me. Good. Okay, maybe just wait for an opportunity for him to look away, and then I get a bit closer, catch his attention, and then I stop. Like here. There, like that. So put my hand up first, then I start to move. Good boy. Well, that was quick. So pretty hooked on now already, just keeping him in the corner of my eye, just in case I don't fully trust him. Wow, good boy. Hey. And because that was so good, I'm not going to rush in to put this halter on. I'm actually going to show him that you follow me, you allow me to get close to you. I'm going to come and rub you and scratch you a little bit, and then I'm going to walk away. Good, maybe. On that other side, if you'll let me. So watch, I'm trying to get him to move his face over onto this side, a bit of resistance. Just keeping my eye on him. You never know. Things can change in a split second with these horses. But you've got to give them that benefit of the doubt. Perfect. So just spend a bit of time here, rubbing on him. You're a good horse, aren't you? Hey, Mugheer? And if anybody tells you that I say the same thing about all horses, don't believe them, okay? You're special. We're all special, huh? Okay, so I might just... Okay. So we're going to get straight into lunging him, seeing if he understands how to go. That's very nice. So here is very heavy on my hand. So immediately I'm going to start just giving a little bit of a pull and then a release. Little pull and release every time he gets to the end of that rope. So what does that do? Number one, it gets him to understand that there's some kind of a limit to the distance between us. I don't want you to be too far. Number two, when he comes off that pressure, like when I do the pull and I do the release, and he keeps his nose where the rope is a little bit floppy in between us, that should feel comfortable. So he's going to be seeking out that circle. Good. And then hopefully we can get him to understand how to start to get a little bit lighter, a little bit more bendy. As I'm doing this, I don't think he's the spookiest horse in the world, so I'm going to maybe start just to move my flag around, start the desensitizing process as we're doing this. Bump, release, pull, release, pull, release. And obviously he was doing that very nicely at the slow speed or slower trot without this flag going up and down. But now that he's going a bit faster and there's a little bit of noise, he's gone stiff again, which is normal. But we still work with him until he's able to understand, there we go, that this flag is not going to hurt him. Why did I say, and there we go? It's because he drops his head. You know, I haven't changed the amount of pressure, the type of movement I'm doing with the flag, but there was a change in his body. It tells me there's a change in his mind. So slide my hand down, look at those hindquarters. Nope, hindquarters. There. So you really need them to step over those with those back legs. You need them to yield. If he turns and faces you with his shoulders and he keeps his back legs separated, you're not getting through to the horse. Good boy. MashaAllah, very nice guy. So he's about to walk now. Just ask him to go again. So you can see he's relaxed. He's not hitting the end of this rope, even though his nose is tipped to the outside. I'm not going to be so picky in our first session. So now I'm going to start to raise this flag and drop it, raise it and drop it, raise it and drop it, just rhythmically. Just so that he understands, hey, okay, the stick and the flag, these tools that this guy's using is not going to hurt me. I can stay comfortable and I know I'm still safe. That's kind of the message that we're trying to get him to understand. So watch the back legs here when I turn him, when I stop him. No, so ask him to go again. Okay. I need those back legs to cross over. There we go. There we go. We need those back legs to cross over. Good. So we're going to point. Raise the flag. There we go. Good. Chewing and licking. Let's start to use these poles a little bit now. So immediately, as soon as he went over that pole, I felt his body and his, move away from me. He hit the end of that rope, i.e. he was telling me I'd rather not go over the pole. I'd rather go around the side. Which is interesting because it's just a pole on the ground and he's seen plenty of poles in his lifetime. So he's not afraid of poles. Just going back to what the horse owner told me, in my opinion, it's more about, he's understood that he can get away from the jump. He doesn't have to put in that effort because he can just go off to the side or stop right before the jump. And then the rider just falls off. Or he doesn't have to do the jump anymore. Good boy. So just playing with him really here. He does look like an experienced young man. Pull release on that halter. Get him to keep softening on that halter. Okay. We're going to yield. Good boy. Point. All right. Slide that down. Much softer on my hands that time. Good job, buddy. So if he starts to get lazy with those legs, every time he bumps it, I might just wave the flag at him. A bit sloppy with my movement. That's nice. That's nice. Slide. Very nice. slide. Much softer on this side than the other side, so let's just keep working on this side. So I'm going to send him, and I'm going to yield him. Maybe give him a little extra motivation there. Good boy. Ask him nicely. There. Ask him nicely. That was much better. Good boy. That's all we need. And again. Softer. Good boy. Slide. Give him a chance. There. Getting better, aren't we? So let's see, is he able to just walk over these? Super chilled. Excellent. Yield those hind quarters. Good boy. Can you walk? Yes. Yes, we can. Can we yield? Oh, that's super soft. Well done, buddy. That is super soft. Very nice. Good boy. All right, so with this guy, so we moved him around a little bit. We need him to make sure that don't think he's got major issues with this flag. He's responsive, but he's not super reactive to it. Good. That's okay. Just trying to be conscious of the fact that I don't want to shove it in his face here. Hey? As soon as I see that there's no real, he's not trying to escape it with his head or throwing his head up, then I know I can sort of get it to the next level. There we go. And release it. Yeah. And release it. You want to check it out? You check it out. No. There. Let him know by releasing the pressure that if he allows me just to get to his side, I'm going to take it away. There we go. There we go. Good boy. There, he allowed me to touch him. Good. So I'm just going in each and every time, forgetting that the flag is on. I'm just using the tip of my stick with that leather piece to scratch his withers, make him feel good. So it's approach and retreat. He just blew out there. So that's good. Release it. Release it. Okay. He's good. Good. Immediately blew out. Relaxed. Chilled. Good boy. Look at that, falling asleep. So he's telling me we don't really need to do too much of this, but I needed to check it anyway. because the next step is we're going to make it just a little bit more challenging for him. So we can go over poles, but we need to find something that he's not super comfortable with, so that we're able to find something to build his confidence with. Now let's just see what he does. Where does he choose to go? Okay, good. Good. So just ask yourself, what did he do there? Did he stop, jump out of his skin and try to run away? Or did he take an interest there? He took an interest, which I like. Nice horse. Hey, bud. So now I'm going to ask him to continue moving, and then we're just going to see where he goes. He's got a bit of a gap between the tarp and the fence, so he's got that escape if he needs it, and he decided to take it. But again, his demeanor, everything about him was just super chilled. Good boy. Yield. Are you still soft in my hand? No, we're going to have to continue just to work on that. So anything that we find is just way too easy, we need to just step it up to at least some kind of a level where he starts to tell me that he's got a problem with it, right? So here you got to make sure that, you know, there's a couple of things he might do. He might just stop and not want to go over. Fine, as long as he takes an interest, we'll change direction, send him the other side. He may decide to, you know, jump over it, which again is a good thing. That's fine. But if you see that he's sort of trapped and thinking about maybe save his life and jump over the fence, that's where you need to, you know, already start to ensure that he's, you know, you don't let him do that. You give him an escape before that happens. So here. Okay, okay, that's good. Now we're seeing something. Very nice. So even with this, not a big deal. Good, let's change directions. Even though I do honestly feel that if I asked him to go, he'd just go, but that's not the point. The point is to let him know that I understand what he's going through, and I understand how to make this feel nice. It's a conversation. So I'm going to ask him just take a step towards it, there, like that, and then just come back again. Come back. Good. That's good. That's fine. That's fine. But I don't want them taking advantage of me as well by telling me, hey, I'm going to stand 2 meters away from this and just, you're going to let me go the other side. No, I am going to push your limits. We are going to expand that bubble a little bit. We're going to do it the walk, trot, and canter, walking over this thing, doing everything the right way. So I do need to find those limits. Good, good. Take an interest. Take an interest. I'm just watching those eyes. Blinking like mad. Very soft. So that is a good thing. That's what I want. That's what I'm just going to ask him. Fine. Let's leave that alone. Let's go the other way. So here he's less willing to be on this side. We're going to continue to go, continue to go. Good. I just keep walking with him until we get him to the level there, or to the point where he decides to trot off. Good. And this time I think it's important that he sort of, good. That's fine. Keep trotting towards it is what I'm saying. That's good. Then I'm going to block the space in between me and the tarp. A little bit there. Okay, good. Excellent. Might go in. Let him sniff. Good boy. Good boy. Let's go. So you see, at this level, you can't really just be super gentle the entire time. If there's no response to this, there's no thoughts going through his mind, you need to increase that pressure and say, I'm asking for a little bit of movement. Good boy. I am asking for a little bit of movement. It's always going to be gentle, very polite. There. But if you decide just to be, I like that. If you decide just to ignore me, that's not going to work for us. Okay? So this time, instead of changing his direction, going the other way, I'm going to open up the space in between me and the tarp and just ask for forwards movement towards the tarp. So there, you saw that gap and you just went through it. I need forwards movement. Excellent. Excellent. Yes. Yes. So again, I'm going to open up. That's it. Open up the space and allow him to go forwards towards the tarp. Oh, good. Good. That's where we're going to very gently yield his hindquarters. Yield his hindquarters. Very gently get him soft in his body, soft in his mind. Good job, man. Yeah, you did amazing. Again, you're always working with principles here. Just because he stops at a green jump doesn't mean it's the green jump that is a problem. It's anything that is underneath his feet. It's a mental block. It's him deciding to take matters into his own hands. And in a partnership where, you know, you've got one leader and one follower, if the leader is asking for something at a particular time and the follower decides sometimes to respond in 1 second, sometimes in 10 seconds, sometimes not at all, sometimes too quickly, then it doesn't give the leader much confidence in being able to trust his partner, his team, to be able to, you know, at the right time, as soon as he says go, people will go. And it needs consistency from the leader's part to ensure that, you know, he or Mugheer understands that when I'm asking for something, it's always consistent in terms of how I want him to respond. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So we don't need to get into an argument. Like I'm saying, go. He's like, I don't feel like it. I say, go. I don't feel like it. You know, and then it's a negotiation every single time. That's not a good relationship either. Good. You can tell he's thinking. There, release it. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm blocking this area in between me and the tarp, and I'm blocking the area behind him, so he's got to think what? Forwards. Aha. Now he pays attention. Good boy. Good boy. So he tries to escape. He's going to feel uncomfortable on that side. He decides to move backwards. That's fine. Good. So again, a little bit of a firmer approach. Let him know that all this feels a bit uncomfortable when you're moving away. But over here, nicest place to be. Whoa, good boy. That was brave. So even though he took off, do I punish? Do I apply pressure? No, I make him feel good. He did something from inside himself. He scared himself, but he was willing to try. Reward that. Let him know. Good. How do I do that? By making him feel comfortable. You're not in any trouble, bud. Did a great job there. Okay. Oh, that was nice. As soon as I pointed, he said, yep. Can we take a little bit extra now? So we're going to block that back door a little bit. You're doing good. So here, he's going to feel uncomfortable. That's better. Here is where he's going to feel comfortable. Well done. So again, as a horse trainer, scratch that out. As a communicator, tick. As a teacher, tick. As a leader, tick. What you need to do is create the right sort of environment to allow Mugheer or people or your team to figure things out the right way. So you know what it is that you're looking for. Do you go around whacking people, threatening people with their jobs? If you don't do this, this is what I'm gonna do. Or do you motivate them to say, hey, this is the solution that I'd like to get to, but you guys figure it out, right? What does that do? It builds confidence in the team, that they understand that there's some kind of a solution to any sort of pressures that they're feeling within their teams, within their business, within their relationships. And it means that they can figure out creative ways or come up with creative ways of figuring out solutions. That is what develops a really good partnership, where, say, you know, my simple request is go forwards, and he's thinking, well, there's this thing in front of me, how do I do that? And I say, I don't know, you know, you figure it out. Good boy. And then over time, he builds up the confidence to understand, okay, my responsibility is to figure these things out. Yes, sir. I like this. I like my job. Yes. Now I know what to do. Good boy. So there was 2 jumps. This time it was a hop. This time, who knows? Maybe he'll just walk. That's good. Last time. And then we're going to stop him and give him that release. So if he wants to walk, let's see what he does. Good boy. Excellent. So he hasn't really gone over on this side, has he? Now he just wants to go over on this side. Remember, I'm going to ask him politely, especially with this rope halter. If I'm asking him to bend and yield and he's not, then I'm going to start to increase that pressure. But I'm always going to ask very gently initially. Very nice. So watch. Ask gently. Okay. We don't need to do anything more, man. If I ask gently, you respond gently, we'll have a nice relationship. Good boy. Very nice. Excellent. Good. I ask, you respond, it feels good. So now we are going to make it a little bit more challenging. So as a leader, you do have the responsibility to set things up in a certain way where you allow success to happen. If you got no understanding and no ability to be creative in how you set challenges up, and I'm going to stop using the word leader, I don't like it. Teacher, let's say teacher. If you don't understand how to set up the lesson in such a way where the confidence keeps building up, the understanding of what's required becomes more and more clear, and then, for example, I just come out here and I just put this whole thing on and I drag him and I whip him and I do this and I do that. I mean, that shows that I'm a dumb teacher. I don't really know what I'm doing. So here, we've done a little bit of a build-up. Good. So if he doesn't go over, that's fine, because things have changed. Look at that. Super proud of himself. Chewing and licking. Oh man, you've just been promoted to COO, my friend. You are the type of partner that I need. Is there any chance that you guys think he's going to walk over this? Oh. I think we can all see the potential. So he's going the wrong way. There. He's a very intelligent horse, and I love the fact that he's not so spooky and that he's got a little bit of a personality. A bit of a tough personality. I like it. I really do. Good boy. Okay. Now we're going to try to do this in a way where I'm not moving my feet so much, and I'm getting him to move his feet. Lots of sending, sending, sending. Very nice. So I'm going to start to get a little bit firm with these yields, because I need him to get through that. So here, pick up gently. Ah, very nice, Mugheer. Good job, bud. Good. Over here. Very nice. A little heavy, but I waited. I knew he was going the right direction. That's excellent. So again, that's a good demonstration of how firm you can be. But again, it really depends on every horse. Now, if I see that correction, don't walk towards me, was the wrong idea, then he should be heavy here. But now, that one correction showed me he knows what to do. He just needs a harder limit to what he's allowed to get away with. Okay. And back. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna walk away because I like that. I like that this time he just walked over. Walking something else here. Good. So again, it's not good or bad to have a horse that's spooky or dominant or less dominant. Good. But you do need to work with each one. So I need them to be connected to my feet here. I need them to be paying attention like that. So if I walk, you walk. If I stop, you stop. There are limits. There are boundaries. There are rules for this relationship, especially initially, until we get to know each other well. That's it. If I walk toward you, oh, that's beautiful. Good. If I walk over on this side, willing to yield. Walk over on this side, willing to yield. Super good. Then I bring him back to the old challenge and say, do you know the answer? Oh, he says, I love that. He says, I'm so smart. I know exactly what to do. So that, I don't know how to explain it. We went through a little bit of experienced a little bit of a challenge. We worked through it until confirmed that he understood what he was meant to do, and he understood that he was in no danger whatsoever to put his feet on this thing on the ground. And then once we got to the level where he's no longer jumping over it and actually we saw that he just walked over it, I changed the exercise completely. I said, forget that. Let's walk away. Let's do something different. We worked on just yield or leading and stopping and all these kind of things, which had nothing to do with this. Gives his mind a little bit of a mental break from this exercise, but gets it occupied with something else. That means in the background, this lesson is sort of sinking in, right? And then, and there's a little bit of additional stress when you're teaching that new lesson, which is the walk and stop and back up and all that. And then immediately when you come back to the old lesson, he's like, oh, this feels so much better now. It's no longer the main obstacle. It's the release. It's like, oh, something that I learned before type of thing. I think I used to coach tennis as well, and part of the certification that we did, there was a lesson that they taught us. It was super cool. They said, okay, if you can juggle 3 balls, I need you to go and teach somebody for 5 minutes how to juggle those 3 balls. So I could juggle, so I was teaching somebody how to juggle 3 balls. For 5 minutes, we worked on that. They started to get it, and then they said, okay, stop. Everybody just, they got us to do something else for about 10 minutes. And then we came back and they said, okay, now I want you to go back to that lesson. See if there's any kind of improvement. And absolutely there was an improvement across all of the groups that we had. That means the same method of transferring new information, new skills from one person to another, it actually works when you teach, take a break, then go back to it. So teach, take a break, go back to it. Take a break, go back to it. Take a break, go back to it. And each time you get better and better. So I'm just going to ask him. Excellent. So on this side, we know that we're good. On this side, I don't know, can't remember if we walked on. Yeah, do not walk into my space like that. And then we go back to being calm. Good. So I'm going to stop him here, and I'm going to ask him, when I ask you to go that way, are you going to take that step towards me with your head up, or are you going to take a step to the side? If it's towards me, I'm going to show you that I'm a pretty dominant horse myself. But I'm always going to ask you gently. Even with these types of corrections, you see that I pick up on the rope, I step, I apply a little bit of pressure. all of that is noticed and felt by the horse, and that he's able to respond very quickly. He doesn't though. That's when you need to get a little bit firmer. Start light every single time, but build up to whatever level of pressure using your brain, right? In terms of how you apply that pressure. So what's, so do not move forwards. Move that way. That's good. That's the escape. That's where things feel nice. So I'm going to yield him again. Do not push. There. So, to me, that would be a great place to stop. So now, the two things we need to do for my side to finish off is one, teach him how, you know, that he's got, that there is a way to work with this halter where you don't need to be pulled to the side. You don't need to be bumped backwards, okay? And, you know, a great place to start this is with flexing. So he is a stiff horse. This is a good horse to practice on or to demonstrate on. So I'm going to pick up here, slide my hand down. He feels that. He feels there's something on. Now I'm just going to pick up here. If he responds, I drop it. I say, well done. Slide my hand down. Pick up like this. If he responds, like he acknowledges that that pressure exists, that question has been asked, even if he does the wrong thing, it's fine. But pick up. Oops. Pick up here. And each time just asking for a little bit more. See, again, it's dropped. There. There. That's nice. Maybe with the camera we can just get a little bit from that side over there so we can see how far he's bending. Oh, that's nice. And how hard I'm pulling. So here, a little bit extra. As soon as he gives, I give. 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 Well done. Yeah, so. Oh, that's. So already, what is it, a minute or just a few repetitions of this? And I want you to see the difference between when I first picked up and now. Well, not on that one. Hey. Hold, there, release. So when I initially picked up, he just barely tilted his nose towards me. Now we can almost get all the way around. Good boy. Good boy. Get him to yield these hindquarters a little bit. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah, that's a softer one. Well done. Nice. Nice. That's nice. That's nice. Good job, bud. So we'll do the other side as well. So pick up. He gives, I give. He gives, I give. He gives, I give. But if he moves his feet, I don't want to stop him. Like, look, my hand is down. I just move with him, right? let him know that I'm not asking you to move your feet. I'm asking you just to respond to that question on your nose. Respond to the question on your nose. So a little bit heavy, I just wait. There, release. Hold, there, good. Oh, good boy. Hold, release, hold, release, hold, release. So we've got the concept there for him. Last thing, are we able to lower his head? So again, left hand, always important to be here, because what we're going to be doing is just applying a little question to the in between his ears, so almost like tickle his in between his ears. And what they can do sometimes is swish their head up and down or left and right, and you don't want it to be you don't want to be doing this, where, you know, if he thrashes his head to the left, he smacks your teeth out. So be careful. So here we're going to ask for the head by not pulling him down, but by applying a little bit of pressure, and then build up that pressure, build up that pressure, build up that pressure. There's no response, no response. Now he's resisting, he's going against my hand. Keep it going until there's a tiny change downwards. No. Tiny change downwards. No. And I'm not pushing him down, I'm just making him stay where he is, uncomfortable. I think he's getting frustrated with the flies here. Drop. There. Okay, so that was the first time. That took a while, right? Typically it doesn't take that long. Now let's see if we ask him again. Do you respond a bit quicker this time? Hey. A little bit more aggressive with him here. Don't want him sitting here stomping his foot. There. 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 Stay down. Stay down. There we go. Tip his nose towards me a little bit. Make this area feel very nice. So he puts his head up. I just gently ask him to put it down again. Bend his nose towards me. Good, right there. Again. It's okay. Okay. Now you can actually start to use the top of this halter as the same pressure as your fingers. So instead of using your hands, you can just you can just ask him to drop his head by picking up or pulling down a little bit on this halter. Hold. 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 He's not paying attention, so I just slapped my leg to grab his attention a little bit. apply a bit more pressure. So what I might do here is just use this hand to get that understanding from him. Good boy. Good job, buddy. Ask him again here. Drop the head. Good boy. So, now when we take his halter off, it's always going to be when his head is dropped like that. I'm going to start to remove the halter. Okay. And then it's, again, try to make it so that you're the one that is leaving him, right? Like that. Okay. So right there, just a little bit of a reflection on that is I did stop at the wrong time. Why? We did a lot of work together. We went through quite a few challenges, and at the end, he was just really kind of chilled and almost a little bit rude in terms of how he's responding to my polite questions, right? He was smacking his lips, he was, pawing his hoof, and, he wasn't as responsive or respectful or polite in the way that he was responding. And then I released the halter, and I left him. What was the first thing that he did? He was like, okay, piss off, bye-bye, I'm going. And he walked off and walked towards the gate. Again, you do make mistakes. The next time, I could go catch him and do the whole thing again, but it's fine, it's my fault. And I accept that. So sometimes you make mistakes, reflect, know what you did well, know what you didn't do so well, and ask yourself the critical question, the absolutely critical question, the learning question, which is, what would I do differently next time? So what I would do differently next time is immediately make sure that if he's getting to the point where he's becoming a little bit rude, let's say, let's use just human language, maybe I start to back him up, and then we stop and I drop his head and I make him feel good. Then if he gives me a bit of, he starts to get dull, I back him up, or I yield his hindquarters, or I lunge him a little bit, and then I start to release again, drop his head, rub him, start to release the halter. And then once I understand that he's actually very connected, that's when I release the halter and I walk away. And that's where you'll find that he'll stand perfectly still, keep his eyes and nose on me, may even follow me around the arena, i.e. he would want to be with me. Really good thing is, I think he's a strong horse. He's got strong legs, a strong back, a strong neck, and a strong personality. And I'm really looking forward to actually doing some riding with him. So maybe the next video you see with him would be with me on his back, or in the process of getting on his back and doing quite a bit of those basic exercises where we establish the same kind of a bond, same kind of a platform for us to be able to exchange information, but this time with me on his back. So until the next time, thanks and take care.